Hello, I'm Claire Granger from Board of Norfolk. As part of Trustees Week 2021, we've been talking to some trustees of charities across Norfolk to find out more about their experiences and what they gain from being trustees of the organisations they're involved with. Today I'm talking to Niall McClelland, who is a trustee with Home-Start Norfolk, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his experiences. So Niall, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your role as a trustee?
Thanks, Claire. Yeah, so I'm Niall McClelland. I work in financial services in Norwich and sort of across London. So I initially got involved with Home-Start Norfolk through a colleague who was supporting them as chair at the time. And so I sort of had gone through my exams and had finished them and thought, okay, I'm going to have a lot more time back in my life now. So I'd like to, use that to sort of give something back. So they got me involved really with Home-Start Norfolk, and after reading about the charity, I thought it was a great, great personal fit for me, having younger siblings as well. Because Home-Start supports families with children between the age of 0 and 5, and really looks to give them that best start in life. So I've held 2 roles of Home-Start, initially as treasurer, given some of my sort of financial background. So that was back in September 2018. Then I moved to become chair in March 2021. When we had a slight change there. As trustee, so what does that really mean? I guess formally with the corporate speak, it's around safeguarding the charity's assets. So whether assets are tangible such as your cash and your property, or more intangible such as the reputation. But what does that actually mean? Well, that's more around really being that sounding board for your executive team, so it can provide either challenge and support to the executives on performance, what their strategy is, and any day-to-day operations. For example, some recent areas where we've given support is on our financial accounts. So we've just been going through that process. So just making sure as a charity, it's extremely important we're presenting them in the best possible way to help with funding down the line. So that's a recent area we've supported with. And another area such as challenge. So as I'm sure you're all aware with COVID and the ways of working, it's affected us all. So we're currently going through reviewing our travel policy, because now you can appreciate there's a blend of hybrid working, and how we also are supporting families has changed a little bit. So that's one of the more challenging areas at the moment, because we've got to get that right for our staff, but also for the charity to sort of make sure we're financially and legally protected. As chair, what I sort of see as my main job, it's kind of a bit of a coordination role. So for me, it's around ensuring I've got the right skills mix within me. So as a trustee, everybody's bringing a different thing to the table. So for example, I've got a bit of financial and corporate background. I've got some colleagues who are experienced in the legal area, and also in family services. So really it's about making sure as that sounding board we spoke about, we've got that right skill set to support the executive team. Currently we are looking for a HR trustee, so if anyone's watching this and would like to get in touch, please do reach out.
Great. Thanks, Niall. So what is it that attracted you to the role of trustee at the beginning?
Yeah, so for myself, it's going to sound quite shallow, but I'm quite career motivated. So I wanted to enhance my CV really to start with, and I saw that as a great opportunity to get some experience on a board, and then also I thought down the line that's going to hopefully open further opportunities for myself. It will help differentiate me, and also maybe look at non-executive director roles down the line. So I came from it really from a very corporate angle to start with, but now I'm involved, it's so much more than that. I actually really enjoy it, and the most important thing for me is seeing the difference that what we're doing is how we're supporting the executives to then support the community. So from going at it, I catch up with our chair on a weekly our CEO on a weekly basis. And it's one of the main conversations I look forward to each week in my diary, and again with the board. So it's just being valued, I guess, and helping other people, in that space. It's again something I'm proud of, and I'm honoured to represent Home-Start Norfolk. I think it's a very credible charity. And it's also helped enhance myself as an individual, really, looking at things from a different lens, and it just keeps you grounded as well.
Yeah, I think, and I suppose people come at being a trustee from a number of different directions, don't they? So
Yeah.
did you have any worries about taking on a trustee role?
Yeah, so there's a couple of nerves to start with. So one is actually thinking, okay, what can I bring to the charity? How am I going to support them? I see myself as quite early in my career, so it was, have I got enough life experience really to add that value? And what you sort of take away is everyone, I mentioned before about the different skills mixes, everyone's got something to give. So actually, even if wherever you are in life and career, there's going to be something that you can contribute, and something, a skill set that you have that the charity is going to need supporting with. I was also nervous about the time it takes to understand sort of the charity and how it's working, and I think that's extremely normal. You're going to be joining the first few meetings and you're not going to be too sure what's being spoke about. It's going to take you a while to get into it, and that's fully expected. So don't feel pressured to be contributing all the time or knowing the answers to everything. Take that time to sort of understand, and people will appreciate that. And also sort of the time commitment was a bit of a worry for myself. How much, if I'm doing something, I want to do it properly. I want to be able to contribute. So I was a little bit nervous about, letting people down, really. I'm quite fortunate that my employer gives us sort of 7 days throughout the year of our own time to contribute to. We call it CSR activities. So if you break that down, it's half a day a month, give or take, or an hour a week, and then anything on top of that is an investment of my own time, which, as I say, when I enjoy doing it, it doesn't feel like an investment of my time. And just going back to that other point around understanding the charity and getting to know them, I think the biggest bit of advice I could do, so I know there's probably a lot of nervousness around people signing up to be a trustee, is ask, if you find a charity you want to support, ask them if you can go along to a few of the board meetings or trustee meetings, and see if you can almost do that initial trial period, and then you can have the conversation, if it's a good fit for you both or not. So yeah, that was also it. And I think I don't want to keep repeating myself, but with the bit about the value, I mentioned everyone's got their own skill set. So you don't have to be, a legal professional, a financial professional, being a family member for Home-Start. That's one of the most important things, because of the charities we support. So, everybody has their own value to bring, and that should be recognised.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say you really enjoy about being a trustee?
For me, it's that seeing the difference we're making. That's as a charity, really collectively. I see the difference the charity's making in the lives and sort of the progress we're making. Especially during lockdown, there's been some amazing sort of testimonies from families that we've seen, and how we've supported them. So, for example, with one family, we couldn't do as much of our face-to-face visits, so they sort of did a kind of got some plants and some pots and things like that, and let families, the kids sort of looked after them and sort of grew the plants and took a bit of responsibility there. So it's again just seeing those stories of how we've sort of helped support and transform lives, and that's where I've got to give appreciation to our volunteers and our team members, because they're outstanding. And then I say, as trustees, just being part of that, really, trying to facilitate those things and provide that support, and being part of that team, it just sort of gives you that enjoyment and reward, really.
It really sounds like you feel very much part of the organisation, not sort of detached from the everyday work on the ground.
Exactly, yeah. And I think one of the things we've tried to do is, without getting too much into the governance, it is as a team, we had one sort of board that was quite big, and it was meeting every month, and it was quite a big agenda, and we couldn't get into too much detail, or if we did, it overran. And so we've sort of now created some subcommittees. So we've got like personal and resource and like family services subcommittee, and that really allows, again, we spoke about that skill set, it allows the people with the relevant skill sets to sit on each subcommittee and really have that time to get to know and speak with the executives about the business, to then drive sort of that change and improvement. So yeah, I think that's really helped us get close. So we're not, we are one team, we're one charity, and we want what's best for the families.
So finally, now, what if somebody was thinking about perhaps becoming a trustee, what kind of advice would you give them?
I think do it. I think it's important to find the charity that's right for you, because that's then going to give you that motivation and self-drive to, get to know them. You're going to feel passionate about it and wanting to sort of, contribute. So having those sort of shared values is important. I think I mentioned before as well about if you're worried about time commitment or getting a feel about it, just have the conversation, see if you can, do a bit of a trial period or sit on one of the board meetings or something like that. Because I imagine that is, one of my fears was joining and then not being able to contribute or letting people down. So if that's preventing people from applying, sort of have that conversation and consideration. What's the worst someone's going to say? No, and you probably weren't going to ask them anyway, were you? So you've not really got anything to lose, but a lot to gain. And then the final point is probably just talk to other trustees. See if there's anyone in your own networks who's a trustee, or on the board of trustees there, and see what they get from it. And again, that can give you some insight and encouragement. But also, if anyone ever wants to talk about anything like that, I'm sure they can reach out following this video or whatever to myself, and I'm more than happy to talk about things with people. So yeah, do it effectively.
Great. Well, thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
No, that's great. Thank you, Claire.